G'day ladies and gentlemen, got a fun one here for you today. It is going to be a Protoss versus Terran on Heavy Rain. Should be an interesting battle. Two Grandmasters players from the NA ladder. Down at the bottom right hand side here is our red Protoss. You may know him here as a barcode player, but I happen to know that it is EG's Huck. He'll be playing down here against his Terran foe. Of course, Huck, a player who has been around for a very long time. Used to be definitely one of my favorite Protoss players back in Wings of Liberty, because he generally tended to play a particular style that involved not using Colossus as much, and he tended to mess about with Templar-based builds back when Templar-based builds were very, very uncommon, and I really like that about Huck. And of course, he's won a few tournaments, a couple of MLGs in the bag, and then of course various other events around the world. Has been traveling a lot, of course spent a lot of time in Korea, did a lot of training, and as of late has fallen down the ranks, you could say, just a little bit. Is looking for that big break yet again to revitalize things. I'm sure he'll be working towards that. His opponent, top left-hand side, is our blue Terran player. Here he is, as under one of his various Smurf accounts, his passion. It is Clarity Gaming's Elhaym. So Elhaym, a fellow Canadian here, he'll be looking to probably go for some really harass-heavy kind of stuff. He'll be like assuming that we can get past the the 1 base and the 2 base phase of the game. If we do make it up to the macro phase of the game, I'm sure that Elhaym will be looking for some really heavy drop based action. He's a wonderful multitasking player, and it is a treat to watch some of the ways and methods that he uses to drop. Wait, is methods and ways the same thing? I'm not actually sure. I think it is. Yeah, I don't know. English bad. It's like 9 AM in the morning. Give me a break. He's a wonderful multitasking player. Looks like Huck is going to be opening up very, very standard for the moment. 2 in each of the gas, just normal sorts of stuff here from our Protoss. Yeah, as I was saying, you do need to be careful at the start of these sort of TvPs. You need to be very careful with your scouting. We can see that Elhaym's going to come through. He's going to look at the gas and say, alright, we got 2 and 2. So there isn't a lot of gas coming in, but there's a decent amount coming through, and we can see that there is a Zealot also building as well. So he'll know that doing the eBay block won't necessarily be as effective as it normally would be. Of course, a lot of Terran players will look to try and throw that eBay down so that they can block off the Protoss from taking their expansion too quickly. And usually this kind of early Zealot here, or at least the Zealot first kind of play that he's doing, is wow. That's a really good snipe. I'm surprised that Huck got that one. Elhaym just unfortunately getting a little bit stuck on the Zealot bit and did lose the SCV, but the Reaper is now going to come in, which will delay the expansion for a little bit longer. Of course, this Mothership Core will come out and should be able to deflect the Reaper for now. But just back on the sort of the 2 base sort of stuff we were talking about, you can see here there's a lot of space, so a Reaper will certainly be able to jump up and try and get in here and get some scouting of what's going on, but that also means that Stalkers are very, very good on this map. You can blink into all sorts of positions here that can really make a Terran squirm, and as we can see, Elhaym's just going to get a heap of Marines out at the start of the game. Just a normal sort of build here for our Terran player. He will have some pressure coming across. This Zealot and the Stalker are already on their way across the map. There is no bunker at the front, so Elhaym could take a little bit of damage here. He did lose the Reaper as well, so we don't even have that guy for just a little bit of backup that he provides. So Huck heads towards the top of the ramp. A couple of SCVs will come out to try and soak up some of the damage. Looking to try and snipe off this Mothership Core would be a good target, but the problem is now that the Zealots are inside and they aren't going to be doing a lot of damage to these Marines. Elhaym attempting to micro back. A couple more Marines will be coming out in a moment here. The Zealot does go down. The Mothership Core is also losing power, but the Stalker is still able to roam about, get some damage done, and we can see that this Stalker is definitely out of there. It's just like he's being chased by a swarm of bees there. The SCVs were trying to give chase and take down that Stalker, but it's not happening. Mothership Core and the Stalker will probably retreat. I doubt they'd want to stick around. Even if the Stalker regens its shields, it's probably not going to stick around too long. You know, the risk of losing that early Stalker is does not weigh the benefit of possibly sniping another Marine or two, especially with this first Widow Mine now coming out. So bit of a nice harassment opening there from Huck. Got a little bit of damage done, as we can see from the worker kill tally. 4 workers killed and a couple of units as well. A few of the Marines did die down, and we can see now that Elhaym is going to be He'll probably look, I would assume he's going to be looking to scan just to double check what's going on over in Huck's side of the map. But Huck is just doing an expansion play, Forge coming up. We can see the Robo here as well. It is just going to be a couple of games. Very, very macro-based play here from Huck. We're not looking towards Blink or anything like that. We can also tell that we're not going to get any Blink because of these cannons. Normally, at this stage, if you're going to be doing a Blink build, not only would you have Blink researching by now, but you wouldn't be worried in investing in cannons because you would have a few Stalkers coming out which can stop any kind of drop. Whether it be Hellion or Widowmine, but also you'd get an Observer or two out anyway. So it looks like we will get these upgrades coming along. +1 to weapons for Huck here, just a little bit different to what you normally would see. We may, in fact, be seeing perhaps this could be a 2-base push play, but not of course not Stalker base. So I don't know, we'll see what happens because Huck still has to figure out what exactly he's doing with his play at the moment. Meanwhile for Elhaym, the natural base is now up and running. 3rd Command Center also coming through as well. Tech Lab on the starport, perhaps just a switch over building. I'm not too sure. I doubt he's going to get a Raven out or anything, or a Banshee or anything like that. Maybe a little bit too late for a Banshee, so we'd expect that's just going to be a switch over. Double E Bays also coming along, and now as we can see, Elhaym is now going to do a little bit of drop. We've got a couple of Stalkers here in the left side of the base. The medevac now just coming through. Where are those units going to pop out? He finds that there is a cannon in there, and in fact, does it get away? It looks like it does, just in the nick of time. 15 health left on that, but we do see Hellions now jumping into the natural base, sniping out a few of these workers here. They grab a decent count, actually. 10 workers have been killed off in total. That's not too bad at all. Certainly a good day at the office there for Elhaym. Happy with the work that was done there. He should be able to, I'd assume we're going to repair this medevac. I'm not sure if you could actually just try and go for that drop again, especially with that cannon inside the main. We've got this Widowmine here, maybe used to block off the 3rd base, but Huck is now going to be pushing out. A couple of Stalkers and some sentries will be here, ready to push out if he so desires. But Huck is just having a look to see, alright, we do have a 3rd CC there. We've got some racks coming up, so it's definitely a bio play. No fancy mech stuff or anything like that coming along from Elhaym. And the double upgrades are now coming out for our Terran player, along with the Protoss. We've actually got +2 to weapons on the way. We're going really hard into these upgrades. It could be, in fact, well, it's gone a little bit weird. He's gone for Blink a little bit later with the Blink, and now it looks as if he will go for some pretty quick upgrades as well. Elhaym trying to deal with these Stalkers at the front door, and Observer is keeping an eye on where these Marines are going. They will have to retreat, perhaps suspecting that there will be a big gateway push coming along. Elhaym decides that it's time to set up the bunker wall, and is going to be prepared for any kind of attack that may come through the front door. But as for this 3rd base, we still haven't been able to get that up and running just yet. But his opponent will have a Nexus coming up very soon. And Huck, with these upgrades, he could be in a really good position to make a big push here. He's got 4 extra gates on the way, adding to the 3 that are already done, so we'll take it to 7. And with the +2 to weapons halfway done, and +1 to armor almost done, he'll be looking at a possible window here where he could look to push, but I just think Elhaym's already been on the ball, ready to, you know, protect himself against this kind of thing. With the 3 bunkers set up, there is a 4th down the back, just in case. There's nothing inside the main, so perhaps not suspecting that there could be some kind of, like a much later Blink timing coming along. He could be a little bit susceptible there, but I mean, Stim's done, medevacs are done. It's very hard for Blink to get something done at this stage, which is why you rarely ever see Blink coming out at, you know, at least for a timing. There's no real way to do, like, you know, a 12-minute Blink timing push or anything like that, unless, I don't know, some weird map comes out that allows that. But Elhaym's going to push forwards. It looks as if we will have the destructible rocks here ready to go. Maybe we'll see the old the force fields and then a little bit of rock drop on top of it, but no. He is able to force field out some of the units. Elhaym going to try and go around the side here. Blink Stalkers coming across. They look for one more shot at this medevac. Do not get it. And Elhaym is going to have to retreat for now. I don't think it's worth trying to drop in there. But a few more Stalkers are still looking to hold off this side of the base here. And Elhaym is aware that they're there. The Stalkers will look to come across and perhaps move along to the right-hand side of the map to block off the medevacs. But they did see them coming through. And Huck is, wow, he should be starting to power up right now as we see him with a lot of Stalkers. He's going to try and utilize the Blink play at this late stage here. But it could work out for him. With some good blink, there is only a few Marauders here at the moment. We may see him actually get some really good damage done. An Observer gets sniped out, one of the medevacs also gets sniped, and Huck is now going to look to push forwards here. The +2 on the armor is still on the way, so he may not be able to well, he may not actually just push this just at the moment, just thinking that he may need that upgrade if he wants to push this, but still upgrades galore coming out for our Protoss player Huck. We've got +3 to weapons is on the way, a couple more pylons being thrown down, charge is being researched. I'm kind of surprised this is coming out this late, given that we have gone down the Templar route, but he is now going to switch it up to Colossus. The Robo Bay is on the way, and we'll have him switching it across to the Colossus tech, and now Huck is just going to be playing it a little bit passive, playing a little bit more of a, I suppose this could have been a little bit more harassment orientated right at the start. These Stalkers coming out to try and just threaten the possibility of Blink, keeping Elhaym over his side of the map, but then switching it back across to the Colossus tech. But Elhaym is now in a pretty decent position when it comes to his economy. We've got a lot of SCVs over here on the third base, and now it looks as if Huck is going to have a little bit of a knock on his possible fourth base door, but he doesn't have the Nexus down. It's a tiny bit too early for that. Blinking forwards, perhaps not the best of ideas. Loses a few of the Stalkers, and now Elhaym has the high ground. He's able to snipe down some of these Stalkers before they were able to see him, and now he should be able to stim forwards and catch some of these sentries here. Blocking out some of the units, nicely done, waiting for a little bit more of a big cluster of units to come along, and then Elhaym will probably try and push this. We can see now that units are trying to come in. This is where I was a little bit surprised about charge. These Zealots are not going to be able to jump on top of the units and tank up all the damage. So Elhaym can just start a step back. There it is. A couple of sort of misplaced force fields there that actually made the Zealots get stuck on the force fields there, and that did cost Huck quite a few of his units, and now Elhaym is free to push through. His 2-2 is almost done. This could be a very nice timing for him. A time warp right on top of the cluster of units slows him down, but the Robo Bait does go down regardless. Zealots finally getting their charge and now able to push inside. Medevacs starting to get a little bit low on their energy, and Elhaym is continuing to reinforce a conga line of units now coming through the right-hand side of that. Nexus is in a lot of trouble. Elhaym grabs a couple of units, says go away Stalkers, while he finishes off the Nexus, and some Zealots will warp in, but will they warp in time? It looks like the answer is no. Nexus goes down, probes come out to fight. Elhaym still started stepping back wonderfully to try and take out the rest of these Stalkers, doing an excellent job of that. And he does take out the majority of those units. A few Zealots will be able to carve up some of these bio units on the ground, but Elhaym has done a significant amount of damage here, taking out the Nexus, causing a lot of delay on the mining here at the natural base, and this has given him some time to set up another command center. We can see this fourth one here. The Ghost Academy is done. 3-3 will probably be starting very soon for our Terran player. There you go. Starts that up, and I mean, for Huck, we're in a position where he's definitely not out of it. Like, I mean, he's got some wonderful tech here to back him up. He's gonna have to rebuild the Robo Bay to get those Colossi started again, but has some Archons, has the potential to get some Templar out, some more Templar as well. But the problem is that he's gonna be delayed a little bit. He won't be able to push across the map and try and put some pressure on his opponent. So he'll have to just stay on the back foot for the moment, try and get everything back together again. And just while we're at it, Storm has not been researched. Huck has not touched that Storm button just yet, and he will be continually under pressure here. Elhaym jumping in the right-hand side of the natural base here, snipes down one of the Immortals. There is another one off to the side. Will he be able to get these units out? It looks like he's out of there. 3 medevacs inside the main are also coming through. They are going to drop a whole heap of units in here. Huck has not seen this yet. He could be in a lot of trouble. This Nexus could be going down very, very quickly. Elhaym stimming and stutter stepping through, jumps on the Nexus. He's going to do a little bit of Pulse-style harassment, jumping in here, takes out the Nexus, should be able to evacuate, or may say, I'll take a Colossus or two. Gets one, does he get the second? It's getting very low, and does it fall? No! Wow, that guy, 18 health, doing a pretty damn good job. One of these medevacs has somehow made its way through to the main base. A couple of Marauders will be able to stim up, trying to take out some, well, just a pylon here. Will it get it? No, it does not get it. See, like we were talking about how Huck is not necessarily down and out for the count right now. Part of that is to do with him just smashing out those upgrades really quickly here, but now losing a Colossus. He's got 2 more on the way, and Extended Dual Lance is finally getting started. But I mean, he can't, normally at this stage as a Protoss player, you really want to be pushing back on your opponent's side of the map. You want to be, you know, threatening this third base. You want to be definitely harassing the fourth base, jumping some Zealots in here, possibly even some DTs at this stage, and just trying to harass your opponent to keep him back on his side of the map while you just reconstitute that army, getting together some more Colossi, getting your Storm Tech researched. I'm still very, very surprised that we haven't gone down the Storm path yet, but he is trying to get things all back together right now. But we do have a whole bunch of Colossus. Some Stalkers will be here to protect against Vikings. Medevacs are now moving forward to try and secure this fourth base. Does Elhaym know that the Stalkers are there? One of the Medevacs goes down, the second one gets targeted but doesn't get the damage done. Marauders and Marines should be able to get a little bit of damage on these Stalkers here. Elhaym pushes forwards. The Robo Bay is actually still researching extended thermal lance. If he can snipe that, that'd be great. In fact, snipes a Robo as well, tries to hit the Robo Bay, but unfortunately the extended thermal lance finishes just in time, and there's a little bit of payback. These Colossi move forward and swipe through those bio units on the ground. So Elhaym does need to be getting up a little bit of anti-tech at the moment. We need to make sure that there are some Vikings here. We do need those ghosts to come out as well, and in fact he's already got 6 ghosts out, and this is kind of the effect of being not being threatened at all by the Protoss player, is that you can just move. You can get all your anti-tech up and running. He's even sniping down Templar at this stage. I think Huck's going to be kicking himself for not grabbing Storm. He really would love to have that available right now, but has just let that go. And it's like it's not even as if he hasn't had the resources to get it. I mean, there have been a few times where he's been up at like 400 gas or so, and at this stage, pumping out the Colossi is perhaps not going to work out too well for him, given that there are already Vikings. We've already got a lot of Marauders out of the field, and now with this big push forwards coming along from Elhaym, he's going to secure a 5th base, and Huck is going to be looking to try and protect this 4th, but I mean, a couple of cannons may not do the job here, given that he is going to be facing up against so many units. The Ghosts are going to want to look forward to try and storm some of the units as they cluster together in this area here. But here he goes, the Ghosts are just off to the side at the moment. Where is the EMP? The Ghosts are actually out the front, not the best of positions for these guys. They are going to try and throw out some EMPs, kind of hitting themselves at the same time there. Huck is in a lot of trouble. He's in a very clustered area, but so is Elhaym. The Colossi were able to do a lot of damage, but the Bio Forces with their 3-3 are just too strong at this stage. And after a very, very interesting game there with a lot of harassment through the mid-game, Huck does fall down against Clarity Gaming's Elhaym. Wonderful job by him. Hope you all enjoyed the match. I'll catch you all next time. Here, as you can see, 47 damage to bio units and then the 34 damage against other standard targets. His storms have also been wonderful, just spreading them out across the battlefield, doing really, really nicely there. And for Minigun, he's been sticking with a much more